This is the Moshpit Backstage podcast for punk, metal, and rock interviews and segments.
Your fourth album, Misadventures, was released in May of this year. What was the creative process for writing, recording this album, and how is it different from the previous albums?
Oh yeah, this record was a very, very, very crazy process. We set out like any other record we would do. We took a bunch of time off from tour and just straight wrote for a year straight, and then when we had 11 songs ready to go, we hit up our producer Dan Corniff that did our last record, Collide with the Sky.
Yeah.
And he was down, so we flew over there to Long Island, New York, and started pre-production. And we eventually ended up cutting 2 songs that we had written, so we ended up having to write 2 songs in the studio, which we don't normally do.
Oh, yeah.
We normally, take the time at home and, spend all this time on each song. And, sometimes we spend months and months on just one song. So to write 2 in the studio was a bit of a challenge. And those songs became the last 2 tracks on the record, which is Sambuca and a song for Isabel.
Oh,
and I love both those songs. Song for Isabel started with a simple drum beat I just came up with when, we were sitting in a room for 8 hours and hadn't come up with a thing. And, I came up with this little simple drum beat, and we wrote the song around that beat. So that was kind of cool how that came out. But yeah, in the middle of this record process, we also had tours booked because we were supposed to be done with the record.
Yeah.
And so, we got to, which actually became like a blessing because we got to get out of the studio. We were, in cabin fever in there, and so we got out and we started playing some shows, which was awesome. So
yeah,
we got to see our fans, and, it was like a breath of fresh air, so... And then we went back and finished up, and then Vic, had to finish all the lyrics, and that became also a journey for him as well, because he, had to get out of the studio to really find what he was, looking to write for. So, he flew back home, and then ended up flying up to Seattle, where he finished the song Circles up there, and then he wrote a lot in Big Bear, in like a cabin up there, and just all over. I think it was definitely a key part to the record that he got out of the studio, because once you're in the studio for so long, you kind of just you're looking at the same walls every day, and it's
yeah, you're
not going to come up with anything in there after a while. So I think it was key that we got out of there and finished the record, and it's finally out, and we're stoked. We're going to be playing a lot of new songs on the upcoming tours, and a lot of old songs as well.
Yeah, sounds really good. So who's the drummers that you look up to the most, that you would aspire to be like the most?
Sure. Well, the first drummer, my dad bought me my first drum kit when I was about 14.
Yeah.
And he also bought me a Buddy Rich DVD. And Buddy Rich was the first drummer that I saw go insane and just go completely mental. And
yeah,
I became a huge fan right away, and I set up my snare drum like he did, like at an angle, like pointed down, and I just taught myself how to play like that. And the fact that he was also a self-taught drummer was cool too, because I've never had a lesson as well. So I just kind of figured it out on my own, and just by watching other drummers. you know, that's what I tell a lot of people when they're, you know, starting out playing, like, as far as drums, like, I would just practice, you know, for hours and hours every day, but I'd also, you know, go to shows, and I'd get up close and, you know, as close as I could get to the drummer, and I'd just watch the drummer, and I'd just try to take something from his playing, like, that I liked, you know. And it could be a band that, you know, I wasn't even into their style of music, but I would still just watch the drummer, and I would take something that I liked of his playing, and I would take it back with me and put it in my own playing.
Yeah, that sounds really good. So what is it like being part of a band that, like, tours the world with your brother? Do you get along?
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Me and my brother, the only times me and my brother fight is when we're writing or, you know, working on a song, you know, or you know, and I think a part should go this way, and he thinks a part should go the completely opposite way, and we kind of butt heads here and there with writing. So, but I mean, as far as, you know, everything else, we're just, you know, always looking out for each other, and we're just trying to push our band as hard as we can, and just get to the next level.
Yeah, it definitely would be pretty cool, I think, to be, like, in such a successful band, like, with your brother. I reckon that would just be great, because you've always got, like... Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, I mean, when we first started touring, I always told myself, like, if we ever go to as far as, like, Japan, I'll be, like, the happiest guy in the world. And, you know, we've toured in Japan multiple times already, so it's kind of cool. And
so cool.
Also, my drum tech is also my best friend from high school.
Oh wow, awesome.
So yeah, I get to travel with my best friend and my brother, so that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. So
yeah.
Your album Misadventures debuted at #1 on the Billboard's alternative rock, hard rock and independent chart. So what does it feel like as a band to reach such an amazing achievement?
It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a long gap between our last album and this one, and fans, you know, still waited, and they were just so hungry for new music from us, so they waited, and you know, and now we got a song that's playing on the radio over here a lot, which is crazy. So that's like a new world for us. We've been doing like a lot of like stripped down like acoustic stuff for different stations, which has been awesome. Just like super mellow like shows with like, you know, 20 kids here and there just to kind of make their day. So it's been cool doing different stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds really good. So your tour in Australia begins on the 16th of August in Queensland and ends on ends on the 24th of August in Perth. What are you looking forward to most about performing in Melbourne? And I was just wondering, just for like a fun question, do you have any funny stories of being on tour in Australia?
Oh, well, I mean, like I said in the past, like Australia reminds us of home. It's just, you know, the beaches and the people, and so it's always good to go over there. But you know, the flight's gonna suck. It's a super long flight. Let's be honest. But
I understand.
Yeah, we've done it. We've done it before. So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, like I remember when we did Soundwave. Rest in peace, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it was like one of the coolest experiences we've had, because it was such a cool festival, and you know, there were so many of our friends out there, and we were all just together, and the after parties were always crazy, and the shows were always so good, and I'm just looking forward to another good time like that.
Yeah. We will look forward to seeing Pierce the Veil perform in Melbourne in August and their other Australia tour dates.
Thanks for listening to the Moshpit Backstage podcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Omni. To find out more about the show, go to www.syn.org.au/moshpit. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/moshpitonsyn and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at moshpitsyn. The regular Moshpit radio show broadcasts punk, rock and metal tunes and interviews every Thursday nights on Syn 9.7 on FM and digital radios. Listeners outside of Melbourne, Australia can stream Syn 9.7 online at www.syn.org.au. Thanks to Vintage Ruin for the music.
Hi, this is Tommaso from Flashgun Apocalypse.
Hi, I'm Enid from Girls School.
I am Phoebe Pinnock from Heaven the Axe.
Hey, this is Gary Olney of the Misfits.
Hey, this is Kat Sproul from Horizon's Edge, and you're listening to the Moshpit on Syn FM.
Hi, this is Einar from Leopard.
Hi, I'm Virginia Lilly from the band Lily.
This is Raul from 1349.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ali from Beaverhead.
Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Benante with Anthrax, and you are listening to the Moshpit on Syn.